All right, hello everybody. I believe we are on air since I saw the screen switch. Welcome everybody to the factory number 28. I am Ion Gravity Beam, and here as my co-commentator today, I am joined by Ganyan. Hello, Ganyan. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I am very excited to be here. Excited to see some sick Guilty Gear Strive action. Cannot wait to consume more of this wonderful 2.0 patch. You know, if you've been on social media right now, there's definitely a pretty poignant conversation around one certain character. But I think the vast majority of the player base has been enjoying this version a lot. So definitely excited to see how it continues to evolve as we get deeper and deeper into it. Now we're about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks old since it came out. So let's see if what these players have been cooking on over these past week or two.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Definitely very excited to see all of that. And let me just pull up the bracket here. Oh, it seems we got, a Lucid up first versus, I think that is Red Dawn, if I'm reading that name correctly.
Looks to be. Yeah, and I've seen Red Dawn's Faust before. It definitely has pulled out some quite good item twists here. And hey, Lucid I definitely have not seen too often then, so I was going to issue with the Faust and Slayer matchup. And I think ironically, like, Faust has done pretty well into Slayer, a lot of these spacings then, but Faust kind of taking some strays with this version coming into it. And Slayer essentially, while losing some routes, kind of seems to be doing a lot of the same things.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. If you don't mind, if you could commentate this one match, it's not looking great over on my end, so I'm just going to join the room so I can spectate that for the next match.
Caught in the corner here. Mappa Hunch out. Top of the far slash. Good chunk of damage then. We got 100 here to work with. Quite yet. Archer is just in case. Red not going to spend it though. Pretty controlled here from Lucid going into this first round, but Red down here. Hold on to that burst here just in case he's here again. He's going to have to use this Mappa Hunch, but it feels like a lot of times Mappa Hunch definitely kind of has a strong goal on the spacing here so far, but good. They're actually caught in one of the Fireball at the ready. Tries to up with that 6P. Bust out there with that 2K. Watch your head though. Oh god, the whole 6K classic then. Oh god, no way we're walking on it like that. Right up to coming in soon. BR's gonna keep it even a little bit more plus. Blocking the overhead. Fights out. Gonna connect. Not even gonna get a chance to spend the burst. Going down. First game, Lucid up 1, and yeah, I just kind of felt like Red Dawn couldn't really get started, but sometimes that's very much Slayer Guilty Gear. You try to press something when it really wasn't your turn to press, and wondering where the heck that life bar went. So
yeah, absolutely. Especially when your Faust don't have like the most health in the game. Definitely hurts a lot more getting hit by that Slayer right there. But Red Dawn not backing down at all just quite yet. We are going to be getting right on into match number 2 here.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, Red Dawn going to be starting off strong in this first match. Going to be getting that horn summon, a little bit of the army, but Slayer going to Lucid rather going to be getting in with the P Mappa. Red Dawn going to be placing down the mini Faust. Not going to be enough to keep a Lucid back though. Red Dawn just trying to play the poke game and try and catch a Lucid pressing a button, and we're gonna bait out the command grab.
So that 2S that caught him with that side switch bunker. Great FRC routing here. A lot of hurt on that, and yeah, we've seen a lot of this from Slayers. This kind of development of this 2S reset into mix right after that vacuum property causing a lot of strife if you were not ready for that cancel there. Ooh, great IV into the throw. Lucid. Oh, Red Dawn cannot stop this Slayer. What he's looking to do. The plus. We'll get the 2H. We'll watch your head again.
Dawn kind of trying to find his way out of the corner a little bit, but Elucid not just keeping up the pressure very steadily, but Red Dawn finding their way to get Elucid into the corner now and has a little bit of meter to work with, but Elucid going to be going for the burst, finding their way out of that corner and just trying to play very patient around Red Dawn's buttons so they can find the opportunity they need, and the bite is going to do it. Elucid able to secure the second match and is now up 2-0 in the set.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, Elucid's like IBs and IBFDs have essentially stopped anything the Red Dawn's kind of looking for, right? You know, Fox already going to fight a little unconventionally as opposed to a lot of the casts. But if you're able to call out some of these options, that and you just kind of can really slow down someone's recognition of, oh, I am not as far away as I thought I was going to be. I don't know if I can actually rip out an item, but you're ready mid-item rip anyway. And yeah, Red Dawn's kind of getting caught a little bit here by just very solid defense, good recognition of essentially what you're looking to IB potentially in this matchup. So, you know, this is definitely showing why they are a Slayer to be feared, but, you know, not even Slayer aside, just, you know, great recognition of those system mechanics in this game here. You know, Mappa Hunch may have been a little bit nerfed on the frame data, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Slayer do that any less in this version.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Though we did see one of the nerfs in action a little there, with Slayer's overhead being a lot slower and much more reactable now, but that's not going to keep Elucid from getting in and causing absolute devastation. The Red Dawn is able to start getting a little something going here, going to be tripping Elucid up on the banana, going straight into the snip there, setting up a little bit of oaking. You have 100 meter to work with, so you know the world is really yours unless Elucid can just find the perfect opportunity to 5P out of your pressure.
That's like JD there. Oh, crawled right underneath the Mappa into that 2K press. I like that RC to try to keep it safe. Oh, you have to be right now. One hit is all you need to get started on Slayer. Oh my god, Red Dawn was so close to least putting a round on the board in this set, but Elucid just holds on tight. Saves the first as well. Pretty good advantage of the second round. Already on set point right now, but this is still a side match. If anyone does lose here, you could have a chance from that loser side, but right now Red Dawn is a little bit longer, man.
Yeah, Red Dawn down a burst. Just one more good hit here for Elucid will do it, and there it is. The cross-up pile bunker will secure the set for Elucid with a very clean 3-0. That is going to be Elucid moving on into winners semifinals, but Red Dawn still not out just quite yet. They do still have the loser side of top 8 to go through, so we'll definitely be seeing Red Dawn again soon, but for now, that is going to be that set, and I do believe up next should be Nan versus Takayo, if I'm not mistaken.
I would check out. I'm definitely familiar with Nan, but I'm not familiar with Takayo, so I'm kind of curious to see who they will be piloting, who they're playing as we get into this next one. Then looking like down on the loser side, then we have Avarice and Nelvi, and then we just like, where's my keys and trigger? So, you know, familiar with Nelvi as well. I've had a chance to play them a few times in the online space. Avarice, I think they're a Venom player, so, but maybe I am misremembering, but definitely exciting here. And one of my favorite things about joining other online brackets for commentary is, you know, sometimes on some of the, you know, different brackets, you'll just have players who choose to sign up for those, right? So, you know, great to see a lot of names here that I don't recognize, so cannot wait to see what they bring, how they're playing with the new version here. I see people in chat already sounded off and talking about what they love about this version here. I saw Casper there shouting out their Neutral Trap 2.0. I mean, I'd hope so. Geo stocks up, so.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to be moving on into Nan's room here real quick so that the connection can be as steady as possible. Yeah, but no, like, just like what you were saying earlier, being able to see all of the new talent start coming through, and really see a lot of new people start to really make a name for themselves is a really exciting thing, honestly. And it's a very awesome thing to be able to see all these players when they start really getting in there and start making a name for themselves, and to the point where they become a force to be reckoned with. It's definitely it's a very cool process to be able to witness yourself, and it is something I'm very thankful that I get the chance to witness. But we are going to be getting Nan Nan and Takayo up here now. Both players on the stand, just going to be waiting for them to get their confirmation that they are good to go. See, Nan Nan starting off with the Ramlethal, which is very interesting. I'm pretty sure I've heard Nan Nan not really be too happy with Sin this patch, so I believe Nan Nan's trying to move over to another character. And then we got Avarice on the Venom over here. Definitely going to be a very interesting matchup for sure. As we start off the set here, Nan Nan immediately going to be going for the burst as Takayo tries to set up their zoning, but it's not going to be enough as Nan Nan still tries to find their way in. Though Takayo able to find their way out of the corner and now really flip the tables. And now it's Takayo on the offensive here. They send Nan Nan through the wall.
Takayo Stiguchi looking hella good here right now on this Venom. So, I'm not sure how intentional some of the resets are, but essentially taking advantage of your resets. Essentially way better than dropping anything there. Great walk that throw. Ramlethal wants you to be some early, maybe touch an early up back there, or maybe even a fuzzy match, but a chunk of damage taken. They ran through the wall, positive, working in Ram's favor. Not get too much meter from it though, and there's a burst ready from Takayo. Leaving in this round, still having a chance, and spending the burst first will at least allow you that if you have to go to the next one, potentially you'll have a burst lead. You can at least get Nan to spend theirs. But an IED JD from Ram. I can't see that very often in neutral, but we were ready for that. YRC blocks it out, and quite a good start here for Takayo. Then we're going to round 3. Leads all Nan's favor.
Nan Nan trying to go for a tap dust there, but going to be getting caught out by the 2P, and the 6P going to be sniping them out of the air. Takayo going to be setting up all of their ball OP here, trying just a little bit of stagger pressure. Nan Nan not getting opened up yet, finding their way out of the pressure with a 5H of all buttons. Definitely very interesting, but it worked out in their favor, and a big JS conversion for Nan Nan here. Now has Takayo stuck up in the corner with all of the free reign in the world, but now that they've lost their swords and Takayo's gotten a back throw incident, going to be very dangerous for Nan Nan, but Nan Nan now has the corner, trying to keep Takayo at bay.
Quarterback that's, oh my god, flipping some down BRT. Have to get that Ram special here. Ooh, great empty jump into that throw. Pretty back and forth, a little close there on that round 3, but good stuff to Nan Nan, just kind of, holding strong and showing a lot of advantage of what, current Ram has to offer. You think about Ramlethal in the history of Guilty Gear Strive. Tough to think of many versions where she wasn't a top-tier character, so nothing wrong with picking a character that you believe in, especially in a brand-new version. And yeah, you definitely see that Nan Nan already has pretty good control, good comfortability with pushing their opponent to that corner and kind of just keeping you locked in there for as long as possible. Great 6B there. Get that early burst out so far from Nan Nan, but in the corner now, a little bit of negative pressure. There's that new hard knockdown from that S sword.
Kyle finding their way out of the corner here with all of the balls set up on screen. Nan Nan trying to just play a little patient as they find their approaching option, but Takayo not going to allow them to find it with all of this insane pressure, and we're going to be getting caught out by the low. We're not going to be getting the conversion we need, but the 6P still going to keep Nan Nan away from being able to get anything started, trying to just use the rock to gain some distance, and it's definitely working out for Nan Nan as they open Takayo up and send them into the wall. Not going to be getting thrown here today, but the down BRC is going to connect. Is this going to be enough to kill? It is. Nan Nan able to secure the round there.
Shout out to BRC scaling remaining the same in this version. PRC definitely taken out back. shown a potential, new side of the caster there. I feel like a pretty targeted nerf against certain characters who use it a lot more, but there are a lot of ways to use BRC to kind of accomplish the aspect of what we got all BRC-based thing here. But once again, Nana and their opponent stuck into this corner. Oh, bit of a drop here. Well, another BRC maybe for that recovery, but we do that 6H, sends out the Dark Angel. High low in. High is not going to be blocked. Hard knockdown here. Positive both to be reeling in. That first meter going to be building up pretty darn quick here. Tension long. Wild thing that's relevant, but not even going to see that moment. It really feels like both these players are just exchanging, putting each other in the corner, and it seems whoever has that control is getting around so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever starts the round just has the momentum for basically the rest of it. And you see Takayo starting off with a great momentum here, forcing the burst out of Nan Nan. But now Nan Nan definitely has getting a little bit of that pressure started. But Takayo able to find their way out with the 6P. Nan Nan going to be getting caught by the cross-up, and we're going right into Dark Angel. Does in fact connect. We're going to be sending Nan Nan through the wall. Takayo with the hard knockdown, but is going to be getting a little bit of that meter penalty, going to be making it difficult for them. Not able to find a full conversion to kill. Has Nan Nan up in the corner. Just one more boss interaction will be enough for Takayo, so you got to play it very carefully here.
Bob and Ram how far in a heartbeat there. Air Carcass with the PRC, another Carcass may cover now against Nickel as they move forward and come out. Burst being spent here as well. Immediate answering back from Nana, just not trying to let them out this corner. Finish the route, not confused with the scaling there. 5K starter, that hard action so much damage with both of those swords here. Especially throws out to be enough to do it. Great answer back by Takayo. Some solid defense and a little back throw here to even up the score. We got one apiece.
Yeah, so far this set we got a very even one so far. Is not very one-sided in any one person's favor. Both players really just clashing like neck and neck with each other the whole time. So I'm definitely expecting to see that throughout pretty much the rest of the set. And Nan Nan taking a minute to get back up there, probably just trying to get a little bit of a breather and figure out what they need to be able to do. But we're going right back on into it and gonna be getting right on into match number 3 here.
Right there, round start then. I think 2S. Both 2S is pretty in there, so checks out here again. Having their stuck here, and Tyro's been so good at these 6D placements here. It feels like Nana has just been clipped time and time again, trying to interact with some of these mids, but Chase is doing so well here. Tries to force a little bit with a BRC, but it feels like Takayo doesn't really have to do a whole lot. Just keep putting out the armada of pool balls there, hold your space when necessary, and despite being dropped in that first game, it feels like it's much of the control of this set so far from Takayo.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Takayo definitely, while unfortunately wasn't able to score the first match, has displayed much more dominance after the first match, and he's definitely making it very difficult for Nan Nan. Not only making it difficult for Nan Nan to really get in, but to be able to stay in, and that is definitely a very good thing to be able to do. And, you know, as we see here, immediately Nan Nan felt the need to burst despite very little really happening. And that just goes to show that, you know, I feel like they definitely feel very threatened by Takayo. So Takayo's definitely doing really well overall so far. And speaking of doing well, going to be getting the air back throw, pushing Nan Nan up into the corner. The 6P once again. Takayo getting so much leverage off of this 6P. It's insane. Unfortunately, not able to get the pickup there. The 2D not going to be enough, but the air back throw yet again. Takayo going to be taking it 2-1 so far, and is going to be getting a pretty big lead over Nan Nan here.
Yeah, and I feel like these players are playing so fast. There's just a constant state of motion, movement, spending RC to kind of like knock out the corner. Like neither of these players want to be in the corner against each other, and I can definitely see why with how some of these sequences are going here. But We are getting into game 4. You know, Nana, we know, definitely a player not to be scoffed at. So even on a bit of a secondary, or heck, maybe it's a newer pickup here with this season, you know, Ramlethal definitely able to do it there. Shout out to SQ for winning the first TNS that was on the 2.0 version. And so a lot of trying to do, of course, Red Ditto as well, winning their regional in Slashback with Ramlethal. So I think top tier Ram is likely here to stay for the year drive time. And Nana here showing us exactly why I'm perfect here at that first round. And that's for anything better than that.
Yeah, Nana seemingly starting to figure out what they need to be able to do. And making it a little difficult for Tayo. Tayo going to be using the burst there to try and keep up the pressure as much as possible. But Nan just staying in as much as they possibly can. The pressure is absolutely relentless. Trying to go for the throw, but Takayo was ready for it and called it out. Nan with the gold burst, though, going to be getting a whole bunch of meters there, because the meter penalty from the RC going to stop a lot of that meter income. Definitely very good for Takayo as they send out Dark Angel here, and is going to be sending Nan through the wall.
Solid damage as well. But positive bonus being rolling in here for Takayo. You kind of seeing there's that big base to, you know, breaking the wall, essentially no longer kind of overriding that, you know, meter penalty that'll be coming through. So, you know, really good stuff to Nana, and just kind of running that standard Ram game plan, keeping their opponent locked down as much as you can, but getting a nice little game 5 here. You'll love to see when both players are going to show that they are capable of toppling over one another, and we'll have to see which one of them two will come out here at the start of this 5th game. But you know, it feels like both players are playing so dang fast that it's kind of tough to get a good read on like how they're going to be adjusting. I have to imagine they're going to keep moving at that same clock.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as you said, with it going so incredibly fast, I definitely find that very interesting. Is most of the time whenever a Venom is on screen, it's generally moving pretty slowly, but the set has been going very quickly, which is definitely something I'm not used to, as I said, with Venom. But you know, we already see that Nan had to use the burst. Takayo still on the offensive, making it very difficult for Nan as the strike throw comes out. Nan is just not ready for it. Takayo with so much meter, and with Nan up against the wall, you know, Nan's not in a great position in this round, but unfortunately isn't going to be able to get the super wall break as the ball kind of did it for them. But Nan opted to use the super immediately on round start, which gave Takayo an amazing opportunity to clean up that round, and now Takayo is on set point. Both players still really going at it here, and then kind of getting Takayo up in the corner. Strike throw still coming through. We are throw looping. We are in Street Fighter now. Tried to get the 5H out, but didn't have her swords yet, which is very unfortunate, but was still able to clean up the round successfully. We are now going to be going into a Game 5 final round, ladies and gentlemen. We got a double Luigi on our hands.
Earlier, a lot of this control has been who's been able to kind of maintain this corner control, and so far, good stuff here. Okay, get that first bench out, but we were ready. So many layers to cover any potential wake-up options, whether it's the wire or the flex field. And so there is the gold burst. What a best-case scenario if you are Nan put right in here. A little bit FD break canceling as well, but it's going to be enough to do it. Nan is actually going to take it 3-2 over Gaia, but definitely, you know, very much could have gone either way. Both of these players have just absolutely been swinging back and forth. That might be like the fastest paced Venom set I think I've ever seen in this game yet. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That is Nan going to be moving on into winners finals to fight Elucid a little later, but you know, we're going to be holding off on that for a bit, as we are going to be making our way down into the loser side of the bracket, which I believe the first set should be Avarice versus Yokai's Nelv. So, you know, I'm very interested to see that. If I am very interested to see that once that happens. I imagine we're going to be moving back into our room now, though, as Nan is not the host for this top 8. But yeah, we are going to be making our way onto the loser side. We also have Where's My Keys and Trigger down here in the loser side. Unfamiliar with both of those players, so definitely very interested to see. And but it does seem like Where's My Keys has an Axel profile picture, so I wonder if they are an Axel player. But we are gonna have to see when we get to that set. Doubt that that's the first set though, as I'm pretty sure the first set should be Avarice versus Nelv. We'll be checking real quick. Okay, it seems Avarice is busy in another bracket, so we might actually be doing Where's My Keys versus Trigger first. Yeah, how's your night been so far, Ganyan? You've been having a good night?
Yeah, it's been a blast here. Definitely always a good time when I get to commentate and consume some good ass Guilty Gear. I would say this version has been a very interesting kind of return. I don't know if you've played the game since it launched, but this game very much reminds me in a lot of ways of the pacing of, like, essentially season 1 of Guilty Gear, as far as like how overall, like, you know, match length and such. Like, obviously there are some characters that are very much playing their own game in that first season, you know, Soul Bad Guy being one of the more like egregious examples, even, you know, aspects of early Nago as well. But, you know, other than that, like, I've never experienced more long rounds, I feel like, in quite some time than this current version, and it kind of has allowed for players to have to adjust to each other a lot more on the level of the game. It kind of feels like the era of the hard knockdown, and you're guessing for your life about 2 or 3 times. You're guessing 2 or 3 times, and then the round's over, right? So a lot more just kind of back and forth here. So it's been a very enjoyable thing to watch. You get a little bit more time to kind of see how the players can maneuver about, and, you know, damage being, depending on the character, a little bit lower. Like, I have to say, like, it feels like some characters still getting the advantage of playing previous season level of power, whether it's looking at things like Unica or Slayer, even, you know, Jam being a new character definitely is no slouch in the damage department either. So I'm just kind of excited to see how this game continues to develop here. We are very much in a new version. You know, Combo Breaker is about a month away now, I gotta say, or so. So can't wait to see, like, the first major on this version here. So I know we're gonna have Evo Japan up here in a week or two, but obviously there's been a lot of conversation about a certain gunslinging messiah here, and definitely kind of curious to see what that tournament will look like, including him in this current version. You know, I think we all know that the Happy Chaos gameplay style right now is definitely maybe not the most interesting there. You know, there maybe are some spots where you can be worked around. You can fight some ways out, but definitely seems to be the most polarizing it's going to be. So I'm curious if any Happy Chaoses who are there can actually do it and show Arxis why people aren't a big fan of this version here. But I'm sure by Combo Breaker, hopefully that hot fix patch will be out, and we can all have a little bit better time fighting Happy Chaos at some point. But I can barely think of a time when Happy Chaos wasn't good, if at all, and some people learned how to play him since he launched. So I'd be surprised to see if they put him in a state where he was actually a quote-unquote bad character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it does really suck considering, you know, when the 2.0 trailer, like the reveal was out, we saw like the showcase of Happy Chaos, or it wasn't the trailer, it was like a showcase of Happy Chaos that they were doing a bunch of showcases for a bunch of stuff just before the patch dropped, and they showed how Happy Chaos, and we saw a lot of the nerfs in action without really seeing too many of the new mechanics be utilized properly, and everyone just immediately assumed that Happy Chaos was going to be bottom 1 dead in the water. But then like a phoenix, he rose from the dead, and yeah, he is still absolutely very strong, especially with this very much unintended infinite that he now has. So it is definitely very interesting. I gotta say, this is gonna be crazy to say. I think I preferred him before on the previous patch, and I feel like I'm not the only one that does feel like this. I really hope Chaos gets the proper changes, because even though he is technically still weaker, like, I don't think he is top 1 still, but he's still definitely really strong, and I definitely think everyone can agree much more obnoxious than before. So I do really hope he gets dealt with in a timely manner, because yeah, I think we're gonna see why on Evo Japan that character needs tuned down, and especially that infinite getting rid of. Even though I know they've already addressed it. They've already addressed that they're going to do something about it soon. I just don't think it's going to be before Evo Japan, unfortunately. But, you know, all that aside, we are going to be getting into our next set now. I do believe this is Where's My Keys versus Trigger. And yeah, it would seem Where's My Keys is in fact an Axel, while Trigger is over here on the Gold Lewis. Now, with Gold Lewis no longer having White Wild Assault, I imagine it's going to be a little difficult for Gold Lewis, but we're just gonna have to see how this set plays out, honestly.
Yeah, I imagine Gold Lewis is a bit of a spectator in this matchup, you know, especially now not having the ability to just kind of hard force some of the ways in. You know, essentially there, yeah, you're winning on round start, hopefully, and then you know you have to do it one more time, but that's kind of keep you in this game. And Axel definitely a character who's doing pretty darn well right now in this version. Probably, you know, one of his best versions in the game at this point here. Losing access to that command grab, but now gets to get like a hit strike option then. That does hit all lows. I love the attempt to kind of FRC one stuff out of there. So to get clipped before your troubled laser was still active. Now you have to get some bit of a strike throw. One more hit would be more than enough to do it. And you block it out here. Trigger keeps on swinging those Human Typhoons. Defensive so far here from Where's My Keys. And just these simple delayed J8 get so much value on so far. Turning the flex shield, keep coming in here, not the tech the confidence, keep it going. Incredibly low, and they trade a double KO.
Oh my lord!
In the set.
Starting the set off with a double KO. I don't think I've ever actually seen a double KO to start off the set before. That is absolutely wild, but I am all here for it. But we do see Trigger does have the advantage in burst, but still does have to be able to find their way in, otherwise it's all for naught, as they're already greatly lacking in health. And Where's My Keys is just kind of over here on the other side of the screen, chilling with all of the resources in the world. We are able to find the burst, but how much is it going to mean when you're at this little health? And yeah, unfortunately, that is going to be all she wrote. That is going to be Where's My Keys taking the first match of the set.
And Where's My Keys looked fairly in control for most of that. And I just imagine how this is going to be as we're going forward here in this set. It's like Gold Lewis definitely has the ability to hit you with an oopsie behemoth, and you know, all of a sudden you're hitting yourself. But if you never get the opportunity to get hit by said behemoth here, you know, just keep on poking it out, keep kind of creating that space between it. Like you said before, no White Wall Stop means no ability just to slam that invincible tool after startup to kind of skip there and get themselves in. But you know, we'll have to see how they can adjust going into this second game. But Where's My Keys just like, yeah, looks very much in control. You know, the thing with Axel, a lot of times you don't necessarily need to hit the best combo. Those characters definitely have some pretty good reward in these versions of Guilty Gear. Just keeping your opponent out, keeping them annoyed on their way to get in is essentially all you need. That dude Guard Crush as well. Even if you block it out, you are still Guard Crush. 5K to get yourself started. Good keep the sequence going. Wall stick then, a little bit left-right, keeps it same size with that JH, and a perfect hit Where's My Keys. Awesome start.
Yeah, Where's My Keys so far kind of just running away with the set. Yeah, and we see there Trigger winning one interaction and then getting bursted out and has to do it all over again. It is very tragic. Unfortunately, this matchup does seem to be going about how I predicted. I imagine this wouldn't have been nearly as bad with White Wild Assault. But now that Gold Lewis just has that gone is, you know, very difficult. And you just gotta find the right time to burst, and there it is. Gotta use that the laser beam super there to just kind of freely win neutral, if you want to be able to do anything. But even then, Trigger not really able to do anything, as the JS is going to catch Trigger, and that is going to be Where's My Keys up 2-0 in the set now, kind of just running away with it, unfortunately, for Trigger here.
Bit of a Axel celebrity in chat right now. Even or slight Gold Lewis probably. Dang, okay.
Gold Lewis beat Axel before White Wild Assault? Really? Axel's better and Gold Lewis is worse, though. Yeah, that's fair, honestly.
Yeah, well, you know, if however much that may be true, just shouts to Where's My Keys then for showing us what finesse looks like here. And a bit of a switch here as well in another character, seeing some changes coming into this version. We have Anji now, who kind of has sorely been a pretty good pick into Axel, you know, across the versions of Guilty Gear Strive. Obviously, Anji launching in a pretty terrible state, but essentially became quite the god character over the many years gone on. Love to see how comfortable Trigger is with this character switch here. I think even when they pulled him before, they were playing Half Chaos, so definitely maybe in the tool chest here. But so far, it's looking a lot better than our first two games, so the switch here is very much the correct one.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, going to be getting just thrown over and over. Tried to go for the parry super, but it was in fact baited out. We're going to be going for a massive anti-air, though, from Trigger. Not going to be able to pick up off of it. But, oh, the deflect shield going to be whiffing as Trigger either accidentally or very intentionally whiffed their meaty. Either way works out in Trigger's favor and is already going to be able to take the first round.
Hedge your bets here with the high health character, but then still kind of spin right through those long extended normals. There's so much value there, and it's simple like high jump into falling JS. Moving on there, pressing it out with that fan cross here to keep it safe. Where's My Keys is ready with the correct press then. You're not able to stop it, but it's actually an anti-air close slash. Hey, I thought we were
Oh no, we're going to be getting caught by the super in the gap of Fujin there. Very unfortunate for Trigger. I'm going to be getting caught with the run-up throw as they try to go for the full screen spin. And that is going to be Where's My Keys able to stay alive in this match. Where's My Keys is now on set point, and we're going for round start. Charge Dust yet again, not working for My Keys yet again. And now Trigger does have some burst to work with. Not going to be getting caught by the run-up throw that time. Trying to stay safe around the burst. Where's My Keys not going to be giving in, though. Both players just trying to aggressively bait the other's burst. Where's My Keys able to find the correct spot to get theirs out. Now Trigger just playing very desperately to stay alive as well as they can. Still holding onto that burst for dear life, and it's not going to mean much when you get caught there. Where's My Keys going to be taking it with a 3-0, even though Trigger was so close to being able to stay alive. But Where's My Keys able to move on regardless.
I have to say that sequence that like wrapped up that last round there just had me laughing the whole time. It felt like we were fighting with the idea of, and it didn't feel like these single hits would even burst safe themselves, but like, you know, when exactly was Trigger supposed to actually use that burst potentially there, but Key just kind of kept them locked down, really didn't let them, you know, think they had any other options here to get it, but maybe even a simple block or even a deflect shield to just get some space would allow you to breathe. But good stuff to Where's My Keys, kind of keep the pressure on and make their opponents second guess utilizing those system mechanics here. But yeah, pretty about what I expected to go, at least from the first half of it there. But you definitely kind of saw like the power of what Anji has to offer in this version. You know, essentially keeping a lot of his tankiness, but while his damage is down for a good aspect of his routes, the character is more than functional. Some people even may be preferring the new version. I think I saw Uwe Gui essentially describe Anji as like, if you enjoy playing like neutral with Anji, he feels, you know, the same, if not better. But if you're a big enjoyment of that character was for the big cash out moments, the big damage output, like, you know, he has lost some of those routes that made him what he was. You know, what Red Wild Assault definitely did a lot for that character's kit in certain aspects, but I mean, that man could also hit you from, you know, mid-screen to corner, no problem. And You know, I definitely see a little bit of change of pace here for the game. You know, less full screen carry across the board. Some characters still very well privileged with routing in this version, but yeah, a lot shorter combos and a lot more kind of interesting back and forth can occur, and heck, even some you know, a little bit of Street Fighter 6, a little bit of throw loops as well. So we got it all here.
Yeah, absolutely. Much to love when it comes to Guilty Gear Strive. And speaking of, we already have Nelv up on the stand here. Just going to be waiting for Avarice to pull up. Just gonna try and see if they are still in the other bracket or if they are ready. Hopefully they are ready now.
While waiting for them to pull in here, and what's been your favorite part of this version so far, 2.0 in general, or just, you know, like what have you liked the most about some of the changes, or if there's like one change you're like, yep, they nailed it on this part, and it be your character or characters across the board that you either liked or hell, even if you hated, you're like, good, I'm glad they don't have this tool anymore.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, the main issues I see with the patch are just like a couple of character changes. There are a lot of like some of the new moves made some of the characters just absolutely belligerent, like Leo and Nago's new move. Those new moves are just they allow for some absolute ape play for sure when Leo didn't need it. Leo already played like a monkey, but now he does the monkey flip as well. And Nago's new move is definitely something to behold. So those new moves definitely changing those characters a little bit while also making them significantly stronger, in my opinion. But it's not like, I think the new moves are cool. They just need to be tuned down a little bit. And obviously the Chaos changes, while, you know, Chaos needed to be shot, he still wasn't seemingly shot enough, and then ended up being even more obnoxious. So those are just like the main problems I have with the patch. Outside of that, I think like almost everything with this patch they pretty much nailed on the head. I mean, like the they kind of just nerfed being able to make decisions and not or like they kind of nerfed the play style of making really dumb decisions and not being punished for it, which I think makes the game a lot more interesting, because it means that most of the reads you go for are, you know, just that, reads. You can't just like go for it and then be safe. So I think that makes the game a lot more interesting to both play and watch. So I'm really happy that they went down that route. It definitely took away some funny things that I did really like, but it is what it is. I still think like the game overall is better than it was in the last patch, and honestly this patch does just feel like a huge breath of fresh air for me. So I am definitely a big fan of this patch overall.
Love hearing that. But here we go, y'all. Avarice has pulled up to the plate. So we have Avarice versus Nelv coming out here. Gonna have a little Venom versus Slayer. So to see how we kind of like differences from essentially that first that we saw. Well, I guess that was on the Slayer, and then the other side had Takayo. So another Slayer, another Venom, two such Venom tonight. Definitely love to see characters that you know all the time. But good round as well for Avarice. Not only getting out the burst from Nelv already, but putting them through the wall to get that hard knockdown and get there. Good setup. Ooh, ended doing an empty jump, but wasn't quite ready for the deflect shield to be there behind it. So pretty good start then, but Avarice still very much in control so far. Now pushing this corner. Gotta get out with the IED-JK, send it. Trapped into that PAL bunker. Ooh, catches them maybe holding up, or even a throw. Back here again. Spacing so far is so good, and I love that. Just not even giving Nelv a chance. Like, if you get me over here, I'm gonna run all the way to the other side of the screen. Send out a quick cool ball there. Good first round for Avarice.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still see Avarice staying strong here in the second round. Unfortunately, going to be getting caught by the very last overhead of the JD there. Very unfortunate for Nelv, but Nelv kind of able to find their way out of the pressure a little bit with the deflect shield, and now with a back throw incident, Nelv should be able to get a little bit going here. Going to be successfully opening up Avarice and taking them over to the wall. Going to be using that super for the wall break and going to be getting that hard knockdown, though that Manzar meter economy is going to be not the greatest, but it is what Nelv chose. And so far, seemingly going to be working out as we are able to very quickly secure the round. And that is going to be Nelv taking round number 2.
Great answer back from Nelv as well. Also very cool to see that, like the jump cancel route from Slayer. Like so often we're seeing like, whatever stray hit it is, it's like the FRC dandy, and then just kind of sitting them in the immediate power-up loops. And, power-up loops have gotten a little bit tougher in aspects of this version. I know there are a couple that still be gone for. I think the era of them having to be a little more on the auto time side is definitely not quite there, but I'm curious to see how players will adjust. But there's been a lot of good content out there put out for Slayer players to figure out how to get to these new routes here, but so far it's getting a bit of a offset from that FRC cancel, but Nelv here still getting the hit they're looking for, able to seal out that round 3 and gets the first game.
Yeah, very strong first match for both players. Nelv was able to come out on top for that first one, but Avarice not shaken at all, just going to be getting right back up on in there into the second match here. And yeah, Nelv so far being able to work around Avarice's zoning pretty well so far. So Avarice going to be needing to make some adjustments if they want to be able to continue to keep Nelv at bay.
On the round side adjust here so far. Okay, Avarice taking a little bit of spacing here. Ooh, that could have been so much worse. Still got caught though on the way down. So that burst again, and unfortunately now just to get hit. Another counter slash. Close slash in here. Field counter behind it. Locked in here, has been out that burst, not to get any more of this Venom pressure. Jump cancel coming in with that momentum. Great side switch here. Get that fast cancel into the continued routing. A little wall stick, but kind of keeping Avarice locked in this corner. Good throw tech though, get a little bit of space. Tries to use out that PFC. And I'm seeing the forward from Avarice, sending out that, down air carcass into a PFC, another carcass as well. So trying to keep out the ball pressure, put up that wall to kind of stop that awkward mobility that Slayer does. Kind of has to, like, a lot of times force himself into it, but should be able to connect into that good block on the low. Nelv was ready with the frame trap after he's going to do it. That first round going out of the way.
All right, we're Nelv able to find their way through Avarice's defense, has them pinned up against the wall here. Going to be getting caught by the 5K, trying to poke their way out. Not going to work in their favor. Super Mappa Hunch for the wall break. This puts Avarice in a very difficult situation with just one more wrong move. The entire round could already be over. Not able to get the pickup off of the counter at 6P, but the throw RC is going to be enough for Nelv to very quickly secure the second round off of a perfect.
All gas, no brakes. Nelv got the hit they're looking for and kept the sequence going continuously, but Avarice here does some of it so far with their movement. That's going to force out the burst already here from Nelv. Unfortunately now, got themselves stuck in the corner, being put through the wall here with this Dark Angel. Good chunk of damage here coming out from Venom. That lockdown here again. Himself plus 2. You can catch those toes as well. No full combo though. But kind of weird, like falling as carcass. I wonder if an aspect of that ends up keeping themselves plus. Because like so often when it comes to air carcass, it's kind of the spooky point for Venom being that close for it there. But maybe being able to get that drift down and just that late hit is a kind of a new little setup here Venom is taking advantage of. But good stuff to Avarice. They're putting a game on the board for themselves. And yeah, it feels like a matchup that's very much polarizing of like, it's probably Venom leaning until Slayer just finds that one way in. and then it's going to be very, very much up to the defender to kind of answer back, whether it's from reversal throws or heck, a 2P for some kind of like late trap or something. But here we go, getting into our next game. See if any real jokers are coming through. And yeah, Avarice is kind of playing a lot more on the defensive style, and it's really up to like Nell to kind of find that hit or catch Avarice lacking so far. But control, despite that burst going out, has been pretty darn good for Avarice here. Setting out these balls, getting the knockdown here. Immediate answer back with that burst from Nell without taking any of this pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Amber's trying to find their way out with the JD. Gonna be getting caught by the close slash from Nell, trying to get the reset, but Avarice was ready. Avarice's defense is absolutely insane. Gonna be catching all of the dash throughs with the back throw. This puts Avarice in a much better situation, and there's the conversion that they need to be able to very quickly secure the round. Avarice just showing that they have such an incredibly good idea of how to fight Slayer, or maybe has fought Nell a good amount of times. Not fully sure, but still very good on Avarice's part nonetheless. But Nell is still going to be absolutely ruthless on the offense and is finding everything that they need to open up Avarice in this round. Unfortunately, not going to be getting what they wanted, which I think was a dash cancel Kara, but trying to go straight into the Dark Angel. Oh, but the YRC is I thought that was a burst for some reason, but the YRC unfortunately not going to be working out for Nell there with the multi-hit super. And Avarice barely bursting in time on 1 pixel. Thinks they're going to be able to take the round here despite Nell with the burst. The Dark Angel going to be coming out, not quite catching Nelv in time actually. The JH going to be coming through for Nelv, and Nelv is still alive and with their burst.
So spooky spending a burst out in that round 2 against a character such as Slayer. To say that Venom will get access to another burst again, let's get some positive working for him here, but 6P's a good place to start right now. K2D catching out each other there, left, right, beginning to come in. Hard knockdown sequence. A lot of that taking advantage of that, essentially the back hitbox part of that JS from Venom. As we set up some of these, momentum-based jumps with the ball behind it. But so far here, Nelv answered back so far, pushing all the way to this corner. Good throw tech again, keeping yourself alive in the sequence. Both players trying to press their fastest 2K normal come on through. So far, locking down. Nelv just getting caught for maybe holding up there, trying to at least answer something back. But Avarice in so much control. She has just been showing us why they should Venom to be worried about, and currently up 2-1 here. One more game will keep themselves in this run, in this top 8 here. But now definitely no slouch here on this Slayer. If they can get the hit, they definitely have showed the routing to be able to, essentially cinch out their victory. But we'll have to see how happens into this game 4 once we hop back on here. And both players here, Slayer still locked in for Nell. Avarice, of course, on that Venom. We'll have to see how these players are looking once we get down to it. Once the round start has been called, let's see how we get to it.
Oh, Nell trying to find their way in with just as many forward dashes as they can possibly get out. Unfortunately, not going to be working out in their favor, and now they're down a burst. Avarice kind of running away with this round so far, honestly. And Nell's in a little bit of a difficult situation, only 50 meter to work with, going to be getting caught by the tap dust again. Did Nell, their controller okay? Like, it seemed like they just kind of let go. Okay, they're okay. Okay, I think they might have just thought that they died and let go of their controller, which is very unfortunate for Nell, but it does happen, unfortunately. That's why we never rest until we are absolutely 100% certain that the round is over. This round almost kind of looking over for Nell. Just one more Avarice trying to go for one more reset. The burst to keep Nell locked down here in the corner, not quite going to be enough to do it. One more hit is all it will take. The 6P, and that is going to be enough. And that is going to be the set for Avarice.
Yeah, very solid 3-1 there. Gotta love the 6P whipping into, hey, if it ain't broke, slam it again, right? More often than not, your opponent might have seen you whiffing that first button, and they try to fall down with a button on the way in, and You know, the 6P definitely a strong anti-air, you know, no matter the character you're on here in Guilty Gear Strive. But yeah, really, really good stuff there. Nell definitely showing us some great routing here and some of those maybe new Slayer changes. Definitely seeing some of the, you know, nerfs essentially to that function. But yeah, Venom here from Avarice definitely felt mostly in control of that set. But, you know, Slayer kind of has to deal with a little bit of polarizing aspects of, you know, once he is locked down, he has to kind of find a way through some super jumping or, you know, heck, even kind of just slamming a few Mappa hunches to see how you're choosing to set up these sequences. But yeah, just felt like Nelf couldn't quite get the footing they needed to keep that going then, but I'm sure we'll be seeing them in future brackets as well. Definitely an incredibly strong Slayer player, and, you know, puts a good amount of time into streaming as well and climbing with multiple characters then. So very, very cool to see people who are just fans of the game and want to continue to prove themselves and push themselves further. But I think we'll likely be having Red Dawn versus Where's My Keys coming up next here. So Axel Faust, which is definitely not a matchup I can say I've seen a lot of then. So very curious to see how it shakes up in this version.
I imagine that this is probably not gonna be great for Faust, just because Faust wants to play back near, like, not quite full screen, but like just a little bit. Like they want to play like long range, but not like super long range. But like that's really difficult when you're going up against Axel, who is like a proper zoner and has all of these full screen tools that they can utilize, which means that Faust is really only going to be able to get items off of knockdowns or just off of really lucky opportunities. And I feel like the main way that Faust is going to be able to get in outside of just like the usual dash blocking is maybe with like Scarecrow PRC, but even then that gives you meter penalty. So I don't know, based off of my knowledge of these characters, I feel like this matchup might not be the greatest for Faust, but I could be wrong, as, you know, I play neither of these characters. I'm just going based off of what I know with these characters. But, you know, as per usual, we will just have to see how it plays out. Hopefully Red Dawn going to be able to get in here soon. There, not Red Dawn. Red Dawn is already in here. I don't know what I was saying. We were waiting for Where's My Keys, and Where's My Keys has now shown up into the room, so we should be getting started now. And we're on the Johnny. Wait, what? Where's My Keys is on Johnny?
Okay. Johnny and Sad coming up here for My Keys. And, you know, Johnny definitely character sitting pretty damn well in this version of Guilty Gear. You know, seen a lot of buffs, a little bit of aspects of getting a cross up in Senga as well, just to add a little bit more, you know, blazing to their game. Shout out to the yellow color Johnny, by the way. Curious George enjoyers, eat your heart out here. And so far, where the keys continuing to, oh my god, himself into the corner. Goldberg's trying to stop the sequence. Thinks it is going to connect into that first meter back, but we're going through this wall here. 100 meter behind us then, so we lost 50% of our life bar. We did get a lot of meter for our cause, but that was after coming through. But we were ready with the What's My Name for put out the day real quick. That card set up here. Good block on that crossover. There's now another personal super again. Where's My Key? Definitely a playable player, what they have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to push the bomb back to Where's My Keys, but Where's My Keys already getting out a misfinder. Just bumps it right back into Red Dawn, and we are going to be getting a pretty big 2H counter hit there, and Red Dawn finding the conversion they need to be able to seal the deal in that round. J2K immediately going to be coming out into play for round start. They are going to be winning them that round start, but Red Dawn does have to immediately burst to stay safe here. Where's My Keys keeping up the really strong pressure, but Red Dawn able to find their way out with the 6P, going to be setting up some items. The 2H catching out My Keys here. Oh, are we going for a home run? We got ourselves a home run, baby, and we're going for item super. We're going to be tossing out as many items as humanly possible here.
Being right then, but, you know, Faust has a couple EPs in his blue belt, so he's blocking the double overhead as well. Sick. So often then with the JP into the up liner on the falling, but so far, now in this corner then, do the best to fight out. He gets a way to get started. Fight on that again. Air liner actually connecting. Not able to get the full route then. Oh, that premiere to spend with up there. Gotta be careful now. It's so often it felt like Scarecrow PRC was the spookiest thing your opponent can show you as a Faust player, but then, you know, you get hit by anything from Scarecrow PRC and you go, oh, it's not as bad as it used to be. That's all right, but good stuff to Red Dawn, keeping themselves essentially, you know, on the path of what they need to do as Faust potentially in this matchup. Curious to see if Red Keys are going to switch it all, if we are going to stick with the Johnny the whole time. Johnny it is. Luckily going to see Johnny maybe in all of their games. Whether it's not they're just kind of feeling out with this character for this version, or maybe they truly believe that Axel into Faust just ain't it. Have to kind of see how we can get some adjustments and a little bit more cleaner on the Johnny piloting here going into our game 2. But so far, it has been a lot of where's my keys, kind of just like throwing out the normals and misfires then, and Red Dawn having to adjust, and a gold burst being called out right away. Pretty good advantage so far for Red Dawn here.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my keys going to be getting caught by the 6P Red Dawn with a great opportunity here. Great blocks from my keys, though. Not going to be getting opened up just quite yet. The IV coming out from Red Dawn, though, not going to be able to get really much of anything off of it. The Meteor coming out, though. Big opportunity for Red Dawn as they take my keys all the way over into the corner from coast to coast. Not going to be going for the wall break. Super actually going to be holding on to that meter as we just use all of that tension to make our way in, giving Where's My Keys some time to get the burst out. And we are going to be forcing the burst out of Red Dawn here, which is definitely pretty big for my keys, but the 5K is still going to allow Red Dawn to close out the round.
Vanpil covering out that command grab. Back retreat then. Where's my key? Stuck in this corner right now. Red Dawn. Good forward crawl. Crawl move again. The back crawl getting nerfed coming into this version here. Now Faust has to use that forward crawl to get that full low profile. That's what we're in the previous version, but Marquis is getting Red Dawn clipped a little bit at this point. Going to keep getting themselves further to this corner. This is where Johnny can be some of the scariest. That have to guess on the multiple high lows. Also the option to bait out so many of those throws here. I don't think it'll be enough to quite kill then, but Red Dawn definitely on life support going through this wall.
Red Dawn blocking for their life. Unfortunately, not going to be able to use any of that meter to keep themselves safe. Going to be cleaning up the round there for Where's My Keys. And the 6H counter hit all the way from the other side of the country is going to be huge for my keys. And what? Oh, Red Dawn was able to successfully get out the meteors before getting a hit. That right there is just, that is the Faust special. Faust is able, like, there's so many items that allows Faust to just kind of have a burst for free, honestly. And that was definitely one of them right there. And that allowed Red Dawn to be able to swiftly clean up that match without even having to use their actual burst. And I believe that is going to be Red Dawn tying it up 1-1, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Oh, was that 2-0 for Red Dawn? I don't know. I think that might be. I'm unsure. I don't remember who won the first match, but yeah. It was
Red Dawn in the first match as well, yes.
Okay. So Red Dawn is up 2-0 right now. And I gotta say, I'm very curious. Where's My Keys is pulling out the Axel, but I gotta know, Ganyan, are you, do you like the Johnny beard or do you prefer without?
Oh, I'm old, so I'm all about the beard, you know, so I... That's my man. I knew I liked you. I don't know, I just, you know, I see beardless Johnny and it makes me angry. I see bearded Johnny and go, you know what, you worked hard to get these examples, so.
Absolutely.
Where's My Keys moving to Axel now again, so maybe we're just trying to see if it was the point. And heck, is looking a lot more explosive and a lot more Where's My Keys favor, where it's like, not to say that they couldn't maybe have gotten a match against Red Dawn's Faust here, but you can definitely tell where their main lies. There are aspects that can be a little annoying about this matchup here, but great 5K edge here from Red Dawn. All the way to this corner here. Bomb and themselves a little bit more plus on their way in. Not overspending quite too much here. It's all Axel wants to do. Try to pull off of that drill at least, but keeping Axel locked out is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Red Dawn needing to use the burst to kind of keep my keys pinned down, but they are going to be finding their way out. And now Red Dawn just kind of have to find their way around the pressure. Does get in with the J2K, but unfortunately the back throw incident, all of the back throw incidents from Where's My Keys actually not going to be able to get the pickup that they need. But the immediate JH there is going to be enough for Where's My Keys to be able to very swiftly take the third match here.
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder if it's just just kind of to limit test this, Johnny, and see how comfortable we are in here. Like I said, maybe it's more of a feeling, or just kind of want to test out a new character or newer character in, a bracket environment. Very, very different than what you're going to experience when you play in like ranked direct, even in like the Park or Celestials. So, I can understand that willingness to try, and it's like, okay, well, I'm down 2. I got to be able to reverse sweep it to be able to answer. Might as well pull out the character that got me to this point, this stage of, how good I am at this game. So we'll see if my keys can make the reverse sweep, or if Red Dawn can pull up enough good items. Maybe a couple mini Fausts back to back to be able to hold down the neutral for him. But definitely Where's My Keys looking a lot more in this set so far now on this Axel.
Yeah, absolutely. I do see Where's My Keys said that they play their Johnny into free Holes all the time, and they're realizing it really only works against free Holes Faust. Unfortunate, but the Axel definitely seeming like it's working out a lot more in this set here for Where's My Keys. Red Dawn kind of being pinned down at the full screen here, making it very difficult for them to find their way in, but Red Dawn is able to get it with the 6P. Will be baiting out the throw, but unfortunately going to be getting hit by their own weight. Not enough to kill, though.
Yeah, PRC scaling there, definitely, a change. Like I said, that where you can still do anything you did before prior off of them. Just the damage scale is a lot worse. And it's like we're going to actually clip out Red Dawn here in that first round with that super great 5K pressure going into this one. A beautiful route here so far. It's going to be putting Where's My Keys. Oh, I would say through the wall if we actually finished our food there. So no positive control and into Red Dawn so far, but so far they are in so much control of this first round. Wake up into the bomber. Where's My Keys trying to make a statement right now, but we'll have to wait till the next round to show us what they got. It's perfect here from Red Dawn, finding themselves here now on set point.
Yeah, this is a very scary situation for Where's My Keys, even if the swap to Axel so far has been mostly pretty dominant for them, because this just means, you mess up one more time on one more round, and that's going to be it. That's your tournament run. So very scary. Gotta play it very safe and make as many correct reads as you can. Red Dawn so far not able to successfully block out too much of what My Keys is doing. But My Keys does have to immediately go for the burst to stay safe. Going to be throwing the Scarecrow. Red Dawn still going to be getting hit by the cross-up, Axel Bomber. That's the word. There we go. I found it. Unfortunately, going to be getting caught by the JS there, though, and that is going to be Where's My Keys staying alive as we go into game number 5 now.
Feel that reverse sweep coming. Definitely, seeing Where's My Keys play, they definitely seem to be rather in control with the fast Axel play style. A lot of these cross sides into thinking they're going to land for 2K or heck even land for throw, and end up clipping you with that bomber on the side switch. And we'll see if Red Dawn can keep this composure, figure out what they have to do into this Axel, and we've seen a lot of great addition of that 5K getting the weapon both anti-air and even as a run-up normal, but also to get clipped one time by Axel, which always there, but a good run-up 6P. Now you just got to let your opponent know here, Red Dawn. Where's My Keys know that you are now stuck in this corner. You have to hold that banana field. FRC it's low, gonna get blocked out here so far. Nowhere, but tries to actually gold burst, push back in the corner, but ends up whiffing here. Could be using this mechanic without getting the good positive from it, but so far, Red Dawn looking a little bit better so far in this first round. One more hit looking to be enough with the RC. Finish the food here, and despite Red Dawn having the chance to get it in that previous game 5 so far, Where's My Keys is off to the races and is one round away from moving on.
Yeah, now Red Dawn kind of having the momentum really be shifted here. Unfortunately, Red Dawn not finding what they need to be able to. The conversion not going to be enough to kill there as Red Dawn was able to find the burst out, but going to be getting caught by the command grab. And that is Where's My Keys going to be able to move on to loser semifinals with a reverse sweep.
Good stuff to Where's My Keys, putting in the work, making Red Dawn definitely have to work for it, and at least, you know, try to even get, you know, around to answer back. And, you know, but shout out to Red Dawn as well. You know, someone who I have had the ability to commentate before from another bracket, one of the Academy brackets there on the Geekly, and it's been very, very cool to see this player continue to pop up in a lot of online brackets, still playing the Faust as well. So, you know, always very cool to see kind of the growth of these competitive players as they kind of start off in these like intermediate beginner brackets and then find themselves pulling up to any of the online opens, from, you know, the Factory to TNS to Geekly and, you know, Paragon, so on and so forth. So pretty darn cool to see. But I'm actually very excited to see how this net set kind of works out, because we should be getting Takayo versus Avarice coming up here. So a little bit of a Venom off as well. I'm curious if these characters have any secondaries as well. Maybe if they prefer, you know, nothing feels better in a mirror than being the one to make your opponent make the switch first. So we'll see if that happens to get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely we're gonna be starting the set off with the mirror, so neither player being too dissuaded by the idea of having to fight another Venom. So should hopefully be an interesting set to see if either of them end up making a swap at any point. And I'm gonna have to try my best to remember who's who, but it does seem that I believe that's color 1 that Avarice is using, so should be good here. And I do see that Takayo is over on the colors 16. I'm pretty sure that is 16. So yeah, hopefully shouldn't be too confusing, but definitely going to be very interesting to commentate, as, you know, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of Stinger, at, you know, just two Venoms menacingly doing Stinger at each other. You know the vibes. Oh, and unfortunately, Avarice just going to be getting caught by the Dark Angel there on the run-up. Unfortunately, Takayo going to be dropping the conversion there, not getting what they need in order to be able to kill, but does find the kill right there with the wall break. It's going to be Takayo taking the first round.
Rather than probably going through, but Avarice going to have that burst, goes back up now. Immediately going to spend it, going to get a little bit of that spacing from what Takayo's pressure is going there. And now we're having a bit of that Stinger off. They have a good IED into that JH. No full pickup then, but going to catch Avarice slipping on the wake up. But that 5D overhead coming through, FR slipping through that wall. I'm hoping to be a little bit slow to start building up here, but at least going to send out that Dark Angel. Two Dark Angels meet, have a little bit of a conversation, but they will still pass by after they have their quick hello. You gotta be ready for it. So often you're used to certain projectiles meeting and clashing there. These Dark Angels will clash essentially for a few frames and then just pass right through each other. So definitely was a bit of an oopsie. Maybe that wasn't quite ready to see that experience. And maybe when was the last time you played the Venom Mirror, right? You know, so I'm curious to see how these players adjust going through the next one. You know, we get so in our heads about figuring out how to beat other characters, we forget, how do we beat our own character? How do we beat ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I was like half expecting the universe to just kind of implode as soon as both the Dark Angels collided. I didn't think we were ready for that. But thankfully, it wasn't very destructive. So, you know, false alarm, don't got to worry about that one. But, you know, Takayo does kind of have to worry about the situation that they're being put in here by Avarice, as Avarice does successfully route into the Dark Angels here, going to be taking Takayo through the wall. Takayo does have a little bit of meter to work with, tries to get the backdash out, not going to be working in their favor. The far slash not going to be connecting as Takayo was hoping, and Avarice is going to be able to secure the first round of this match.
are stuck in this third loop here. Immediate burst off. Not going to take any more of that corner pressure. Yeah, the Stinger off is going crazy right now. You kind of have 2 points that are important. First off, it's like, are the balls acting enough to be able to clash mid-screen from each other? But you also have the ability to destroy fireballs with the activation of Stinger from Venom. But given the chance to set up the 4 ball that feels so good in this meter. You haven't actually said, oh, no meter behind it. Maybe thinking if I do it's going to end up killing her. Trying to get that quick hit in, but another S-Stinger to go ahead and even up the rounds here. Going into the third one. Big burst advantage here, though, for Taio. So there's immediately going to get spent. The activation war is coming out here, but hope you guys like your Stingers. Nerf be damn. Bit of an awkward QV there, being that close, but it's funny. I don't think Taio was quite ready for that option here from Avarice, but that keeps on going. Actually, the back hit off of the wall. I love that. We saw that earlier in a matchup that I was playing, using that blue fast cancel to slingshot out of that corner. Locked down here, straight to the sky with the air Stinger again. Definitely tough. Quite their opponent more on the interactive side. Sends up one Dark Angel. Any options? Gonna touch last second. Stagger hit ends up pausing to try to burst. It drops a little bit early. The burst was being mashed, but we jump canceled just to be sure. It's very likely that RoboKai hit was gonna finish the deal. Good stuff to Taikayo, just seemingly maintaining control and seems to be a little more ready for some of these awkward mirror-only situations.
I just realized, I feel like that super wouldn't have killed if the burst didn't get baited out, because burst completely resets combo scaling. So that explosion just did an immense amount of damage, like a lot more than it probably should have on that combo scaling, which allowed for the kill there. That boggles my mind. I was actually really surprised that killed, and I was thinking about it for a second, but I think the reset of combo scaling was what allowed it to kill there, because I'm pretty sure that super doesn't do that much damage naturally, but I could be wrong.
Again, but quite ready. Avarice trying to pull out some of the other Venom tricks. Essentially you get a slingshot effect from any of your pool balls if you do the gravity-based super, pulling them back in. But yeah, it sounds like Taio just feels so much more in control of this set. Avarice is incredibly strong Venom player in their own right, but so far it's been mostly all Taio here. Has the health bleed and a sick piece. Stops anything you're looking to do on the way in. One more round, and that could be yours moving on to that loser semis. Love to see if Avarice can answer back. So far, going a lot better here in this round 2. Gonna get the burst spent out of here from Taio. And just like I said right now, Stinger's keeping you locked down in that full screen corner situation. This is the high-end Guilty Gear you are looking for. Be ready for the pool balls there. Goldberg sending them back to that full screen again. 100 meter behind it. Another battle of Dark Angels coming through. Oh, and the sliding in. Hopefully you recover in time to not get hit. You certainly did not. That was what I was worried about after you see them slide forward with the animation. Dark Angels will just pass through each other after essentially a few flash frames. So a little bit spooky then, but still has a chance to go both ways here. Good pressing so far from Avarice. Has Taio on the run, but a 2S with a free ball set, but retreating to the skies, sending down the air carcass here, bringing us to a round apiece.
This is a very nerve-wracking situation for Avarice. You just got to win one more round to be able to put one on the board, and Avarice has been doing pretty well so far in the last couple matches, just not able to secure it, and Taikayo been doing pretty well at being able to secure it. So definitely got to work pretty hard if you want to be able to stay alive here, but Taikayo definitely making it very difficult for Avarice to do that. We're going to be seeing the Dark Angel come out. Taikayo does not have 50 meter to contend with at that time, but a very smart usage of their gold burst to just invuln frame all the way through it, and was able to successfully bait out Avarice's burst, and with the right combo routing was able to find the combo that they needed to kill, and that is going to be Taikayo moving on into loser semifinals to be fighting Where's My Keys. But I do believe that we are going to be going back over to the winner's side first, and it should be Lucid versus Nan Nan, if I'm not mistaken. But I do gotta say, you think I could get this good at pool? You think I could get so good at pool that I just like pull like pool balls out of the ether? And like, you think I could summon Dark Angel if I got good enough at pool? I think that would be pretty cool.
I mean, I think you gotta be a baker first, though. So you gotta pick up the
The double skills.
Yeah, that's where the magic clearly comes from. He just chooses to channel it into his pool play. But yeah, that was actually pretty exciting there. You got to see a lot of advantage, some very weird interactions with the two Dark Angels meeting. I also love the ending sequence where essentially Takayo like just sent it on that gold burst, and you kind of felt like Avarice was said, "Oh, I want to do that too." And Takayo already was kind of thinking in their pressure, like maybe not saying looking for gold burst, but like didn't overcommit too much. Was able to block out on that burst sequence there, and so Avarice definitely was super cool. Someone did that horseman day. Okay, so they essentially have felt the sequence prior, so definitely was seemed more than ready for what they were looking to do. Really impressive stuff there. But yeah, cannot wait to see how this winner side set gets on the way. Lucid, of course, we saw them on the Slayer earlier here. Nanem, who we've known for, I think Sin a lot of times in their play, but was rocking the I was switching rooms, I'm assuming. Was playing the Ram on the earlier set, so I'm curious if we're going to see a continuation of the Ram going through it. I know Sim players have not necessarily feeling the best on the character right now. He's been kind of toned down in some aspects, hasn't taken advantage of that new, eat essentially doing something now. The eat mechanic always technically did do something, but had some pretty varying levels of, do you actually feel the benefit that you're getting from this mechanic? Well, stamina regen in a character that needs the stamina more than ever, probably a pretty nice thing to have. But if you're trying to play a mid-range character and you want to play the best one right now, it's hard to look past Ramfall Valentine, who is, essentially not been bad in any of her versions. We all remember the launch Ram sword rework, right? Where, on hit or anything, it does. Sword stayed out, kept on blowing up, and kept us in some pretty strong guard crush situations. Welcome. We will see as what character will be chosen as we get into the set. Winners finals, like you mentioned, which means both these players do have the chance to, if they don't end up taking this set, still can make a run back there from the losers final side. But winning here would feel pretty darn good. Sitting comfy there in winner side grands, which means that someone would have to take you out twice, 2 sets you'd have to lose to not find yourself to be that champion. So we'll just have to see how this all shakes up from that point. I imagine we're going to be getting brought into a different room. I have not seen the code.
Oh, 504, 504.
Nice, okay. I should have assumed it was the same one.
Indeed. Yeah, like Elucid, Nan, both very strong characters, and I do see Nan already ready on the podium with the Ram, so at least going to be starting the set with the Ram, though I do imagine this is probably a pretty solid matchup for Ram, just because, I mean, Ram has so many incredibly solid matchups this patch from what I've seen. And just based off of my knowledge of these characters, I imagine Ram's probably going to be a little better in the matchup, but Elucid also a very good player, so definitely could make it seem very much like it's not a very good matchup, but we'll just have to see how this set plays out as we get on into the first match here, and it seems like we're letting intros play out. That's pretty exciting. Okay, nope, never mind. I spoke too soon. I should have not said anything.
There we go here. Both players playing a little, and I love this patience round start here. Both players knowing that essentially who's getting that first hit to essentially dictate an entire round here. Ram so strong in this version, and while she's kind of, for a while the people kind of missed out on the old version of Ram, it's like, oh, I miss picking up the swords, or I miss having to worry about these here. It's like, well, yeah, but now you can just play Ram. You break that wall one time, and no matter what your timer's at, you're getting both of those back. A lot of set play now with that S sword, being able to kind of catch. Still the same high-low. Good route so far. Good answer back. We were ready on that 2S reset here from Elucid. Not going to get a spend a burst, and not feeling confident enough sending that mechanic. But the Nan's pressure seems strong enough to keep them locked down. Good spacing there. Ends up with punishing any follow-up of that 5K with the 2H from Slayer, keeping you locked down with that newly, I'll say, birthed 6H from Slayer. You know, the latter half of it, essentially, I think if you were crowd blocking, ends up being barely plus for it. Good catch through on that side switch again. Sends out the Mappa Hunt there on defense to get out of the corner. Reversal throw, then pushing back below that corner. A little shimmy, not taking any fights so far, but a great technical break in space.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And Elusa going to be getting in with a massive far slash counter hit. The tap dust going to be coming through. Nanan opting to use the burst, and immediately is not going to be working out for them as Elusa is able to successfully get the P-Mappa whiff punish there. And now Nanan down an entire burst bar. Definitely not looking very good for them, as Elucid was able to successfully escape the pressure there with their burst. And, you know, Nanan now going to have a little bit of a difficult time. Does have 50 meter to work with, though. Not able to get too much off of it. Elucid's defense staying strong, not panicking whatsoever. And, you know, just trying their best to stay in. The 5K going to be connecting as the K-Mappa unfortunately whiffs for Elucid. And now you just have to kind of block as much as you can here. Though the air back throw for Elucid. Elucid was so ready for that, even though it seemed like Nanan was trying to make a call out there, but just didn't go through with it fully. And with the last horizon, that is absolutely going to do enough damage with that scaling to kill. That should absolutely be Elucid taking the first match of the set.
Love to see your winners finals looking very, very close between these two so far. You know, it's only one game, but I'm hoping all of our games absolutely go back and forth. And you're seeing a lot of these adjustments there on some of the pressure sequences, calling out some of these quote unquote, I'll say fake things that, you know, Slayer has to offer, and even some of the open spots in Ram's pressure. Though it may not feel like there are a lot of spots that are open against this character. Yeah, you're seeing Elucid here, you know, properly kind of, you know, RPSing with maybe those throws and advantage of Slayer's kind of, you know, high defenses to work around there, but gets caught by this 5H. And though the combo isn't really there, pushing away that corner is definitely worth that sequence. Not going to have access to that sword so far. A few of these far slashes, but a good 2K pressure from Elucid. Let's get that knockdown burstman out of Nanan so far, but the flip catching you for your bad choices again. Oh, and I love that space, and actually got underneath that 5K from Slayer with the 2S from Ram. Overhead here, coming through, but it did not here. And look at this damage. Bailey's going down. No, cancel into that FRT with enough to do it, but a tap 5D into the low. Ooh, a bit of a 2K frame kill there. It helps set up a bit of a meaty timing to get that proper wild buster loop. Great wire sweep from Nanan. Away to this corner here. Good hit recognition there into that Daro, but short attack, you know, spacing. And then trying to be too committal in their jumping options with the JK. Block that with the swords again. Slayer have to guess right now. And I love the Mappa Hunt. Good recognition of what you need to do. Elucid looking strong here.
Nanan trying to find the mash out. Elucid choosing the one option that didn't get punished there. Nanan immediately having to go and use the burst. Trying to get a BRC down to connect with Elucid, but Elucid with the 6P anti-air, not letting that slide today. We're going into the bite. You don't want to get hit, because the universe hit is going to be all it takes. You have 100 meter, and that is all it needs. That's all you need to be able to secure the match. Elucid with such a swift kill in that round. Absolutely devastating. What a showing. Oh, that is unfortunately the old bracket link. Allow me to get you the new one. This does just take you straight to the top 8, so hopefully that's not a problem. But there is the bracket right there for you. Yeah, as we go into the third match, Nanan able to find a very interesting back throw there. I did not know you could throw that, but yeah, Nanan in a little bit of a difficult situation as they are only one match away from being sent down into losers finals, but starting to get a little bit of momentum shifted in their favor here. So, you know, not looking too one-sided. Elucid able to find their way in. Going to be getting caught by the back throw once again. Nan has so much meter to use and all of the resources at their disposal. Though now with, you know, all of their swords gone, all you need is something like that. Elucid with an insanely good IB. Oh, routing into Last Horizon there. This might kill, actually.
Yeah, as about as good a starter as you can ask for. I think it should be enough to do. Ram defense is definitely not on the tankier side, so far here, Elucid, despite, you know, a lot of the control of that round was going Nan's way, but Elucid here now sitting on set point, running such strong player pressure and getting so much value out of the hits they're getting. Good Chris Hammer to get himself started. You air block that map a hunch. Good luck. Good air throw back into that corner again. A bit of a shimmy here. A bit of a tray, but still an advantage here for Elucid. Advantage of that power bunker into the PRC. A 6K to catch out the flip on the other side. Cannot say it's missing that one.
Yeah, that 6K was absolutely nasty from Elucid, though Nan finding the opportunity to maybe get something going here, but we're gonna be baiting out the throw, and Elucid is able to secure themselves winner side on Grand Finals. That is not going to be the end of Nan, though. They do still have one more opportunity to be able to make it into Grand Finals. They just have to win Losers Finals, but not going to be going into that just yet, as we do still have Losers Semifinals, which is now going to be Takayo versus Where's My Keys. So a Venom versus a possible Axel. Maybe we'll see My Keys choose a different character, but you know, we'll just have to see when we get in there, as they have been surprising us throughout the tournament so far.
Favorite thing about Guilty Gear in this essentially this version of Guilty Gear, and someone essentially newer to the genre coming out with Strive, but you know, I noticed a lot with these older Guilty Gears, it was very rare for players to essentially play multiple characters at like a tournament, you know, competitive level. And you definitely kind of see what Strive allows you, you know, kind of simplifying some of the aspects of what you need to know based on like, you know, different like character weights and, you know, essentially certain like wake up timings being unique to themselves here, where as like, you know, yes, there's a lot to learn with each characters and how matchups work, but like if you truly feel like your character like has to work way too hard to overcome a matchup, there's likely a character you can pick up, you know, add to your tool belt that will maybe help you get over it, get past it. I myself as a Viking player, you know, knows how kind of, you know, I'm gonna say mediocre Faust is in a lot of aspects, but it feels like that character was made in a lab to make her day awful. And so, you know, it's been a very interesting part for me to try to find other characters that essentially makes the matchup, you know, much more enjoyable to play. So, you know, Where's My Keys? Seeing that they have a couple other characters that can play, I'm sure definitely helps no matter what bracket they find themselves in. You know, they mentioned before that usually they have to run a Johnny into the Faust that they have in their region to be able to, you know, make it closer or even take the sets from them, because, you know, whether it's from a practice standpoint, people are just good into certain characters, right? Maybe it's a patience level, it's understanding about the actual frame data and when they can and can't press. But yeah, Where's My Key here? Definitely you're seeing the most magic from them when they are piloting this Axel. So we'll have to see what else they can do as we get deeper into this bracket. But you know,
oh my lord, I forgot to hop back in the room. Whoopsies. Hopefully the set hasn't started.
It hasn't. You're good.
All right, sick. Gonna be getting right back on in here.
Oh, and you play on 2 different controllers too? That's hype. So.
Yeah, playing on 2 different controllers is very cool, I must say.
We have Kaio in the room. Time for the hop on. The old setup here, a little bit of Axel, Venom. I have to imagine this Probably is going to lean at. If I take a shot in the dark with not really knowing his character too well, I feel like it's probably slightly an Axel matchup. But I'll have to see how good, the essentially toned down version of Stinger is. Stinger got used a lot in our our Venom mirror earlier, so definitely kind of curious to see how functional and at the ready to slam the bean. But here we go, y'all. This is loser semis right now. Where's my keys versus Kaio? So far off to a good start here for Where's My Keys, getting the knockout ready for great routing as well, pushing them right back to the screen, pushing them on the low, gets that tumble effect. Actually ends up being, I think, an air hit, so they don't get the full animation then, but IDJS actually catch Where's My Keys, sending out the Dark Angel now, holding it down, pushing through here. But a good JP actually picks up on the sequence, not going to get a full pickup, kind of that late hit from the Dark Angel definitely causes him an observation. That's good. Can't setting up super as well. Gonna absolutely clip the time tire. Send him back to that full screen again. With that hard crush low, who's blocking it out so far.
Just one more hit will do it, and the back throw incident is going to happen. Where's My Keys going to be able to secure the first round? Very good stuff indeed, though. Does have a little bit of a disadvantage on the burst side. Kaio was able to successfully use their burst, but now still has to try and find their way in yet again, despite using the burst, unfortunately. Where's My Keys playing a very good keep-out game.
That's exactly what I was wondering there. I even with the speed of the S Stinger, not fast enough to essentially get out before that. Command grab. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. It's called just the command grab. It's not a command grab anymore. Yeah, these hold up, these J8s have been doing everything so far here in Where's My Keys matches. Just, people so used to maybe some of these like stagger lows that can come out from Axel, but just simply sending it on those overheads. No one's felt like they've been quite ready to slow down Where's My Keys here. And we'll have to see as we get into the second game how Kaio can adjust and hopefully get their sequence going then. But because I imagine at least, with that nerf to Axel 2K, they're not essentially as, it's just slam on it and have it solve all of their problems there for you, but sends out the round start into the bomber and immediate gold burst to push it off here. Where's My Keys? Definitely, maybe they call optimal in the matchup then, maybe just playing for the
Yeah, absolutely, definitely could be. But, Where's My Keys keeping Kaio pinned down here. Try to get in with the instant RC overhead, but Kaio was able to successfully block. They're going to be getting the optimal punish on the super here, but unfortunately the combos going to drop are going to be routing immediately into super, though, to secure damage and a hard knockdown. And we just 2D on Wake Up, and it worked. Unfortunately, going to be getting caught out by the last overhead, and we're using burst immediately again. Going to be trying our best to secure this round. Going to be getting the burst bait into time stop, and Where's My Keys is able to successfully close out the round.
Believing themselves enough to send out that burst, and I have to say, it's like no one's been able to really kind of slow down a lot of what they are looking to do. Axel is incredibly gifted as a character. This is kind of just do stuff and opponent has to show you that they know how to work around it. The other things here, a bit of mid-street throat loops coming out, not taking the bite so far. A bit of a dead zone though on that air thing. Falling into that low, that knocked off of 6-8 to the Q5. Good sequencing here. We're seeing a little bit of life so far into Kaio here in this game, but we can push through that wall, at least get that positive roll and start rolling in. But one good hit is all Keys needs to be able to take this game as well. That first clip, then here one or two more could likely do it. IED into the gold burst. Sometimes you have to let them know. And I don't know if they wanted the command grab there, or maybe thought they were going to fall in front of them, but a bit of an odd choice there from Kaio. And another game on the board for Where's My Keys. Just, we're seeing all sorts of new experiences in this bracket tonight, and I am here for it.
Where's My Keys is just playing with joy and whimsy in their heart. They are just, they're just out here having fun, playing for the love of the game, and I think it really shows in their gameplay that they're really enjoying what they're doing, and I gotta respect that. I think playing the game that you find fun, you know, just fully embracing that is something I definitely really respect. I mean, as there we go, that like perfect example right there. Round start charge dust. We're just you know, why not? Just let's send it. As you know, Where's My Keys has done before. I'm definitely a fan of that. So, you know, shout out Where's My Keys for that.
Yeah, there's aspects of a playstyle like this that definitely I think have merits as to how often they are good or not. Oh, we are absolutely ready to do that off that BRC slowdown. You know, that is definitely a practice situation there. That delay was so specific to work with that extra extension on the gravity so far. Where's My Keys are just spacing these sequences so well. And Takayo, while they're definitely getting some good hits, I mean, the start of that round was incredibly Takayo lenient. That simple back into that BRC, and then of course cutting out that bomber is going to try to get the pop to the anti-preppy. No full cow pickup, then back dash out of the close slash here as well. Definitely playing loose and ready to here to show off. Not going to break the wall here quite yet. Keep them locked down with that local, and I love that 5D and just keeping it safe because the back hit on that ball pushing them forward here. They're going to get caught. Late BRC entering back, but a delayed bomber actually clipping out the recovery here. Coming out again. No punish here on that gold burst. Still, you know, isn't as far. Still only -2 in this version. The closest actually going to find the hit they're looking for. Tayo now, but on the back foot there. He's pushing away to this corner. Good IED over so far. Hold out here, and I have never seen so many bombers be this successful. Where's My Keys? Grabbed the keys, got in the car, and never let off the ignition, and is taking that set 3-0 and gets to move into losers finals to take on Nan Nan.
You know, they say, you know, normally people would say in this situation that Where's My Keys kind of ran away with that set, but you know, to kind of continue with your analogy here, they definitely drove off with that set. You know, they put that set in the trunk and they secured it tight, and then they just kind of drove off into the sunset for sure. Unfortunately, Takayo is going to be out of the tournament, but what a great showing from Takayo overall. Definitely a very awesome Venom, the very, very good and clean Venom. One of my personal favorite Venoms that I think I've ever watched, honestly. So, you know, big shout outs to Takayo. While Where's My Keys is in fact going to be moving on to fight Nan Nan now in losers finals. So I do believe we're going to be once again moving on over into Nan Nan's room, as Nan Nan does tend to host the room. Where's My Keys? Bro took the wallet and chain too. Took everything. Slammed my foot on the gas pedal and didn't let off. For sure, absolutely. That is 100% what you did right there.
And I think that's one thing interesting about Guilty Gear is it's very much known to be a very explosive game when the right hits are found, but a lot of times it can even be less about the certain hits that, you know, the certain big combos, and essentially just like, are you able to maintain control most of the time? And, you know, when you have this comfortability in playing that very, like, loose, fast-paced style, you know, if your opponent cannot slow you down and at least make you adjust to what their game wants to be, you know, it can very much feel like that might be the most car crash version of Axel I have ever seen. So, you know, shout-outs to, you know, shout-outs to them making this playstyle their own, and, you know, definitely showing why they have moved pretty darn far in this bracket here as well. Now guaranteed at least a top 3 here in the factory's number 28, but, you know, 2 incredibly strong opponents would be ahead of them, and to see if they can traverse. And, you know, I definitely can't imagine Axel will be having the best time fighting against Ramlethal, so we'll have to see what Nan Nan can do to kind of keep the Axel down from, you know, at least playing to their style here so far. But, you know, we've all mentioned it, like, you know, Nan Nan definitely has been known for, you know, some other characters, so, you know, the Ram definitely is looking pretty good in a lot of aspects there, but, you know, how clean, how ready is it for a playstyle such as this? But we'll have to see as we get in there. Just waiting for the room to actually show up for me.
I don't know why it's not. We are all in the room, so that's very strange.
Yeah, I have refreshed the list and it came up this time. So.
There you go. There you go. So I see you have Baiken selected. Are you a Baiken player?
I am.
Yo, shout out. Always been a big fan of Baiken for the majority of Guilty Gear, especially fighting Baiken. I very much enjoy fighting Baiken. I think that is one of my favorite characters to fight. So, yeah.
You might be on a very short list there, because that's usually not the response I hear.
Oh yeah.
Talk about
a lot of people do not enjoy fighting Baiken, but yeah, I've always enjoyed fighting Baiken. Baiken's been one of my most fought characters since I started playing the game. So, yeah, I enjoy it.
Go. You're getting to our losers finals now. Nan in control so much here. We're seeing where's my keys on that Johnny pick so far. I can definitely see Johnny feeling like a much better character to fight into with the ranges that Ram is looking for. Ooh, but not going to get over that Mortal Bato, pushing it back into that corner again. Not only was the burst spent here, but Nan absolutely off to the races. Put up the red light and force where's my keys to slow down for a little bit, and it feels like that would be so much value against a playstyle such as theirs. But a good reversal throw can definitely take it pretty darn far. Goldberg's answering back. Comes out with that flip into the R2 plus. Good recognition of getting that source weapon off of that 2K2D to keep the combo going. Not getting it pushed too far, but having Johnny exactly where you want him as Ramlethal, using in that new cross-up in Senga, which ends up being blocked out here by Nana so far, but knocked down there on that low fighter. Locked down. Tries the IAD out, but the late card pop actually catches that IAD. And Nanan misses out on that PK fighter here. Gets a push back to his corner. No wall click here again. 50 meter behind both these players, but he's going to send it out. But the Morbato find another big hit here. Oh, and send out the Flex Shield. Maybe looking to catch that explosion, but it was not quite ready for it. A very fast first game going the way of Nanan.
Yeah, Nan definitely kind of running away with that match there, though. I do want to say I kind of just forgot that Where's My Keys played Johnny earlier on in the bracket, and for the entire first round, I was over here wondering who in the world is this Johnny and where did they come from, until I remember that this is just Where's My Keys and they're just playing Johnny again. So completely overlooking that fact, we're going to be going into round number 2 here, and we are seeing already on display one of Johnny's new features. Not really like a new feature. He's always had this move, but his Nsenga at the right spacings does just cross up now. I believe it gains more forward momentum, so that allows him to cross up now, which is definitely very interesting, I must say. But you know, it is. I don't think it makes like I don't know. I have opinions on it, but the opinions for now shall stay hidden away, and we are going to continue carrying on with the round as Nan does 6P their way out of the pressure there, successfully stopping Where's My Keys from just running away with the round there.
Seeing a lot of times life here from Where's My Keys in this. A lot of this second round has been going their way so far. And that burst out of Nanan's here, but a good fight, a good chase, but a good 5P mash out so far. Immediately sending on that deflector on defense, getting caught, maybe push him there as well. And we just seem to be getting caught by holding up again and again, but trying to stop this Ramlethal pressure can definitely be on the tougher side. Good block on that 5P. Another deflect shield, but you get caught by that S sword here.
Where's My Keys not looking too good, but gonna be getting the tech throw there, but Nan getting right back in, and unfortunately for Where's My Keys is going to be getting hit by the second hit of Rekka there, and now Nan kind of up 2-0 in this set, is kind of running away with the set, looking like we might get a might be getting a run back from winners finals with Nan versus Elucid, but you know, set not over yet. Where's My Keys could still be pulling out the Axle. And there it is. Where's My Keys is, in fact, going to be pulling out the Axle here. And maybe this could be what Where's My Keys is looking for, to be able to start really shifting the momentum back in their favor.
Very much much in control already, despite this Axel switch, not deterred at all by this different character. But I would say this is definitely more of a buff to Where's My Keys. It feels looking a lot more comfortable on Axel compared to Johnny, but not to say that the Johnny didn't actually have moments of scenes of success, but so far, look up for that Star Wars, they were absolutely ready, and I love that delayed jump, thinking they were going to be falling just to catch out any kind of reversal throw or anti-air attempt, and with that delayed into the flip. And right now, Nan here is doing a bit of a speed run here of this losers finals. One more round will have them move forward and get the rematch against Lucid. We'll see if my keys can at least find a sequence to get out. We are just not ready for this ram pressure. Oh, we threw a sword we did not have yet. As someone who put a little time into ram call as well, it's like let's play a lot of that character. Experience of that out. We've been able to drop on a pretty cool FRC combo. With my keys looking pretty good so far here in the second round. Pitched up the flip there with that 6K and a 2K to wrap it up. We're getting around Andrew's back, and yes, like it seems like the Johnny definitely makes sense on a map-up method standpoint, but Where's My Keys feels like they are very much in control of the vehicle on this map.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Definitely seeming like Where's My Keys. Just trying to feel out the Johnny a lot more and see where Johnny is getting them, but going back to the Axel when it seems like it's not going very well or it doesn't feel good and they're not really liking it too much. But the Axel so far definitely giving Where's My Keys a lot more opportunities. Trying to go for the gold burst, unfortunately not going to connect. Super not going to kill. Where's My Keys at 1 HP, 50 meter to work with. Trying to go for the throw, thinking Nan was going to try and throw them there, but Nan baiting it out. And that is going to be Nan with a swift 3-0. And now we are going to be going into grand finals with Nan versus Elucid yet again.
A little bit of a winners finals run back here. Grace left Where's My Keys put on a very impressive showing with that Axel Johnny combination. Definitely saw some pretty sick Axel combo stuff, so definitely appreciate players of playing essentially what was a lesser kind of like scene character in the previous versions. Seen a lot of love coming here into this new version of 2.0 Strive, but here we are, y'all. We have made it to grand finals of factory number 28. Let's see if we have any difference in results from the winners final set. We're looking pretty confidently going the way of Lucid in winners finals here. We'll see if this warm-up or this long run so far that Nan had having to get that extra set to get back here helps them be here. Maybe it was a little bit cold after kind of not playing for a little bit, but so far here it is a first advantage for Lucid, able to smash out with that 2K. 100 meter to work with as well, so one hit is likely all Elucid needs to take it. There's that late PRC scaling so much better for that big damage here. But good defense so far. Nan able to actually fight their way out of that corner. It's so big.
Huge back throw incident opportunity for Elucid here. Nan yet again finding their way out of the corner with yet another IAD there. Elucid trying to play calm and slow and just try and find the opening that they need, and there it is. The 6K overhead going to be opening up Nan, allowing Elucid to close out the first round. And now Elucid getting a massive counter hit on round start here, and yet another one. There's going to be was going to be a lot of damage generated there. Nan able to find the burst and stop Elucid from truly running away there. Now a little bit of momentum going to be shifted into Nan's favor here as they slowly push Elucid up into the corner here.
The 5K ripping still sends up the 2D after. Players not coming in hot here. Trying to work with it and not able to continue that combo going. Media burst answering back, and yeah, one of those bursts where it's like, did you really have to? But if it's keeps your opponent in the corner, they had no meter to work with for any kind of reversal option from either, heck, even deflect shield at that point. So really good stuff from Elucid, kind of recognizing the state of where the round was at, and it takes a pretty strong looking game one. So we are getting into game two here. Nan we'll be sticking with Ram this whole run here. And I definitely would say, like, anyone who's looking to pick up Guilty Gear, looking for a strong character, if you think Ram is cool, you should definitely play Ram. This character, I don't think, has necessarily been bad in any of the versions of Strive. And it's, even though she's eventually had these swords reworked a few times at this point, definitely a great measure of that positive bonus, which is a little bit less power hungry in this version here, but an immediate burst out from Elucid, fighting back at their best. Good block on that 5D RC. A late back jump as well. Here. Not fighting too much then, but gonna get caught on that frame trap here. Counter coming through as well. With a full combo sequence going there. Keeps him blocking into this corner.
Big Map-a-Hunch counter hit for Elucid here. Going to be getting the entire loop sequence. Going for the reset. Nan trying to just find their way out of the pressure, but wasn't able to find it until just there with the revert. Well, tried to go for the reversal super. Got a close slash into the super. Either way, Nan was able to secure the round there, but Elucid still starting off this round here with a very explosive start. Insane pickup off of the 2P there. Going to be routing into the super Map-a-Hunch for the wall break. And going in for the safe jump. Nan very smartly going to be just holding on to the burst there for the next round.
Round 3. We see Nan still showing some signs of life here on this air. The multi-FD quick break there in the air. It was so funny seeing the bubble a few times again, but good start here so far. JK overhead here. Oh, not able to get that 2K to connect combo into the sword. Send it out here. 6P's immediately after knowing that ends up whiffing here. Ready for that pierce to cancel to the close slash, but there's that burst. And not take any of that damage. Sends off with the 6P. Multiple close slashes to try to bait out any of those burst options. And now you're going to get it out of Elucid. And good stuff to Nan already going further with this Ramlethal than they were able to in Winners Finals. Gets a game as well. We have one apiece.
Absolutely. Nan able to finally start figuring out what they need to be able to do in order to break through to Elucid here and really get things going. But to those who are unaware, being in the loser side of grand finals does put you at a great disadvantage for the sole reason of needing to be able to win 2 sets back-to-back against the winner side in order to be able to secure your spot as number 1, which, is a very big disadvantage, but does come with the punishment of losing a set. So while it is very difficult, it isn't impossible, but definitely is a massive mountain to climb, especially when, the person you're going up against is someone who pretty flawlessly 3-0'd you in the previous set. But Nan seemingly is able to start getting a little something going. Got to be very careful you don't get chipped out there, but the Map-a-Hunch is going to, in fact, do it, and we're going to be going into round 2 now.
I feel like it's so tough as a commentator to know, okay, were they actually holding FD at that sequence, and did they die chip or not? But now the game just tells us appreciate that update as well, Arthur. So good hold up in that ID option. And then at least has Elucid stuck in this corner, not taking the swords too much. 2D not get punished then, but did not connect either. Both players not trying to put too much emphasis on each other. Oh, but this time the PRC cancel is going to connect here. Bit of that scaling change as well. Definitely still gives a good option to be able to want to spend it, but definitely not as high of a return as it used to be in previous versions. Good job to hold it up from Nan and be able to answer back, but a 6P stops up that mid here. We get the burst spent out from Elucid. Reversal throwing off of that dash here. Look at this corner, which is going to have to do their best to guess out here. Bit of a whip throw with the explosion, and at least cover your sequence again. 6P to get you out of the sky. Gets it out one more time. Tries to throw it again. The back hit on the 6H as well. Elucid showing off what they have to offer here. Putting themselves up to 2-1 in grand finals. One more game would make them your champion for the week 28. But we'll have to see if Nan can answer back here. At least need to get 2 more games to get that reset in grand finals. And they would have to win 3 more after that point. So we'll have to see if they can find the way to kind of keep Elucid down. But Elucid just is playing very confidently. And so often it genuinely feels like Elucid just feels very in control of when they are looking to push today, but they seem very comfortable just blocking out a lot of these sequences here. And playing a character which has some kind of awkward mobility options, you can go very, very far if your natural defense is good, and Lucid doesn't show that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucid, in my personal opinion, has some of the stronger defense I've seen from most Strive players, and it pays off. It definitely pays off for him big time. The hard work definitely coming through and definitely showing. While Nanan is able to be getting, or while Nanan's momentum is definitely a lot stronger, and while they have been doing a lot better, Lucid still seemingly just one step ahead in Exhibit A right there as they bait out the burst. Nanan not gonna be faltering in the face of adversity though.
Tries to throw. I respect the attempt there with that jump over. Having the sword to actually get cover as well. Good stuff to Lucid. Trying their best, but man, she's pretty darn good here. Just looking pretty clean. A lot of what she's looking to do in this current version. Seeing a lot of great presses on the suits here. And I love this delayed kind of crossover and then IED back as well. Letting the sword do the hit on that left-right for you.
Lucid doing a few too many forward dashes there into Nanan's face, and Nanan going to be getting the back throw there. Lucid able to find the 5K to start getting something going here. Not going to be using the RC just yet. We're going to be doing a Kara Dandy Step for massive damage here. Is it going to be enough to kill? Not quite. Nanan with 50 meter. Lucid not going to be going for the cross-up, while Nanan probably expected it and was waiting to super on that side. So Lucid was able to catch there. Lucid on tournament point here, but still could possibly go to game 5. Nanan with the burst advantage. Definitely very strong for her. Are we going to be seeing the burst out? We are, in fact, going to be seeing the burst out, but Lucid able to just get right back on in into an immediate cross-up. Nanan in such a difficult position.
Lots on that delayed low here, messed up with that 2P. Here's about to be in right now. Good 6P at least to answer out on these mids. Keep pressing out here again. A little bit of the shimmies here. Be very careful. The shoots are good. Blades falling with that J214S. Okay, on that low. We are holding up out of this position so much again. One more hit could potentially do it. Wasn't able to get a full route in this sequence here. Lucid getting caught, then for that walk-up attack. This time 5K is not going to come with the sword. And the 5K is going to find the sequence and Lucid. Nana making them sweat a little bit at the end is going to take it 3-1 and be your factory number 28 champ.
What a wonderful top 8, I must say. The bracket today was just some very good Guilty Gear action all around. And congratulations to Lucid for taking down the bracket today. Lucid, absolute force to be reckoned with. Incredibly strong player, as was displayed here today. You know, go follow them on the socials. They're on Twitter. They do some funny things around there sometime. Lucid, very cool guy. And yeah, Lucid making sure that everyone knows that TF is a force to be reckoned with, and he proved that by winning TF's very own bracket. So, very good stuff tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed. I know I certainly did. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your night. That's going to be all from me.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be on the factory here as well. Saw some pretty exciting matches then. Anything I can do to consume more Strive 2.0 content, I am absolutely here for right now. So appreciate all the players putting on a damn good show, and definitely cannot wait to see what we have on future factories, as well as some of the other wonderful brackets on there. So make sure you guys are getting out there, playing some Guilty Gear Strive. I myself have been doing a lot more playing and streaming. I do a lot more TOing and commentating these days, but I have to say this version has been a very nice kind of refresh, a breath of fresh air, I should say, in a version that, while it's always been fun and explosive, it's kind of nice to slow things down just a little bit and get a little bit more of a conversation between our players. And boy, were they conversating tonight. So thank you all again for watching. Thanks to TF for having me on as well. It's been a wonderful pleasure to get to yap about this game for you guys tonight, and cannot wait for future ones.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be all for the factory here tonight. So thank you everybody for stopping by. Absolutely appreciate every single one of you. Going to be sending you all over to ban. So I hope you all enjoy some more Guilty Gear action over on... I'm pretty sure there's Guilty Gear action over on ban. And yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your night. Take care, everybody.